Been this nervous with the cold drink in my two hands, saying no thanks. Like anyway it goes, cause I know things they shouldn't have told me. Now I'm thinking.
Today we're going to talk about Xcode, mostly just a general overview of what you need to do in order to use it properly. Um, so first off, you're going to need an Apple device, a computer, desktop, an Apple device in order to download and use Xcode. It's an Apple-based product and only Apple can use it, and it's the only way to submit something to their App Store or Marketplace. So this is their developer website. It's developer.apple.com, and it's telling you the basic pricing per year to have an account with them. Now, technically, you don't need to have an account if you're not going to publish anything. If you just want to mess around with it, you're fine to do whatever you want. But let's say you get further down the line and you want to publish something you have to their marketplace or to their app store, you're going to need to do the pricing. And for most people, it's going to be an Apple developer fee of $99 a year US, and that is a personal developer account. That's just for you and your mini project, side projects. Now there's a $299 fee where for businesses like let's say you're starting your own mobile company and you're trying to expand that and you have multiple people working for you or that company, you'd be using a company account which costs $300 and it gives you a little bit more functionality. Pretty much it's just one straight fee and then you're good for the year, and then it reactivates itself every year. That way you don't lose any of your stuff on the market, and they keep getting their money yearly. So on top of that, once you sign up for that, you don't need to sign up, but once you do, here's a few things you should know. That this is just the main site to get to wherever you want to go to. You can just go to developer.apple.com and you can find your way around through this way. Now there's an Apple developer account, which is where you're going to click on account, you're going to create sign in, or you're going to create an account. So it's just pretty much you're signing in with your Apple email and password. So I did that automatically already. Pretty much this checks your certificates. So like each time you create an app or a software, you have to have a certificate along with it to say that you are the developer that's creating this and that you can do certain things because you are an actual programmer or developer from Apple. Shows you your expiration dates, when everything runs out, when it needs to be redone. This is where you create your own certificates for those. It's for different things, for like in-app purchases, iClouds, certain music stuff, dealing with pretty much the distribution of the app and the development of the app. You need to create two of them for that scenario. And let's see what else is in this. It's a documentation API. That's good to know for the Swift or Objective-C that they use for Xcode. You can pretty much find all the frameworks and any API related stuff through this documentation. The next thing you'd go to, if as soon as you paid that fee, you would have this thing called iTunes Connect, which is this website right here. Now iTunes Connect lets you show your apps, the analytics of your apps, how much you sell, on the trends that you make. So like all the money you make off it, all the money you don't make off of it, how long people have the app, how long they're in the app for. This is users and roles, shows how many people are in that participation of creating stuff that you can assign. And then my apps, there's like a 3-stage process of in process, rejected, and ready for sale. Ready for sale means you can already have it on the marketplace. Rejected means you can have it because there's issues with it, and there's like in process of review. And that when that's done, it's either gonna be rejected or ready for sale. And that's pretty much all you need to know about the developer and the iTunes Connect account. showed you the documentation for Swift and Objective-C. You just click on one of those and you're good. And then, so let's get to downloading Objective-C. You're going to need an Apple product. You're going to go to the Apple Store. You're going to search Xcode. When you search Xcode, it should be the first one. You're going to click install. And once you do that, it's going to download to your Launchpad. So once you finish that, I've already installed, so I'm not going to install it. You're going to go over here to your Xcode, open it up, and you should get this window for the first time. If not, if you already have it, then it might open up an existing project. So these are my existing projects. I have none of them open at the moment, so they didn't open automatically. And then it gives me these three things. So you can do Check with Playground, which is an interactive code-based system. So pretty much you can type in code on one side and it's going to spit out the code exactly on the right side of the screen, showing you what it does at that moment. You can check on an existing project from like Dropbox, and then you can create a new Xcode project, which is what we're going to do. So you're going to let that load up for a second, and then you can go to any platform. You can program or develop for the iOS platform, which is phone and iPads, the Apple Watch, the TV, the Macs and desktops. So basically what we're going to do is going to do the iOS one just for that. And you're going to hit next. So the single view application, it's the basic one that everyone uses. And this is your product name, what you want your app to be named. I'm going to say app example. And then my team name is my developer account name. So it's my first and last name. My organization name, since I am a personal account, is my first and last name. If you had a business, your business name would be right here instead. Now your organization identifier is pretty much what you sign up as. So it's my personal account name with a reverse link address of so it's going to be com dot my first and last name, and then the bundle identifier is the same thing, but you do dot the product name at the end, and that is your unique bundle identifier that you use to create and submit apps later on. You can choose one of two languages, Swift or Objective-C. They automatically have Swift because it is Apple's unique language that they have created specifically for Xcode. You can use Universal, which means it's going to go to iPhone or iPad. You can just choose one of them if you want to develop towards one of those more than the other, or you can just hit Universal and you can try to do both. You don't really have to worry about these until you get later on and more in depth. For right now, we're just going to get hit next. And then I'm going to create this right there on my desktop. Okay, so right here, this is the general overview right here. When you click on this, it shows the general overview of the whole project. Now you can go right here and it shows you your app name, your bundle identifier. This is your build version. So let's say you submitted this one, and then you're gonna upload, update to that app or that software. So you're gonna name the version 1.1 then, or 1.2. You're gonna keep going up in the version. Here's my team. It's my personal profile again. It automatically fills out that I'm deploying to iOS 10.3 for devices, universal again. Right here I can choose how this thing is going to be laid out on my device. So portraits are straight up, pretty much up and down. Landscape left is when you turn it left. Landscape right is when you turn it right. And that's how it's going to be positioned on the screen, or that's how you're going to want your screen to look like at all times. I'm just going to leave it as portrait. You can have this status bar on the top that shows your internet connection and all that there, or hidden. This is where you'd set up your app icons. This is also where you'd set up your app icons. They have a 2x and a 3x and a 1x. That's pretty much all for every platform. You want to have a high res and a low res. That way it can upload the best one for the marketplace and for on your device. The main storyboard is where you can check out visually what's happening on your phone. So this is like our phone per se, and you can add buttons and labels. So like you can drag and drop a button right here. Now you have a button on your screen. You can go through these tabs and look at the button layout and all that stuff. So right here is the button name. I say hello, and it's going to change that button, but now it's not big enough, so you can resize it and all that stuff. Change the text color to anything you really want. Change the shadow color to anything you want. It's not really a shadow on there. You can put images on your buttons and everything. This just shows a general layout of what you can do. This is how you can position things, auto resize. Here's also down here's auto resizing. This is 194 pixels from the top, 55 pixels from the left, 115 from the right, 423 from the bottom. That's where it's positioned at. You can also go to right here. It shows different ways of doing it. Right here is your whole controller scene, which is where you're making your app. This is the hello button. It's inside of the main view, which is this view. The bottom layout and the top layout are both on top and bottom. This is storyboard entry point. When your app first loads up, it's going to enter to this view controller, because you can add multiple view controllers, and it needs to know which one it's going to go to in the beginning. And there's advanced ways to figure out how to get something going. This is where you can write your code in the view controller. You can also add more files, so file, new file. Pretty much just keep doing that, add to Swift. This shows what capabilities your app can have. You can have iCloud in there, push notifications in there, the Game Center, your wallet, Siri, Apple Pay, in-app purchases. You pretty much just have to enable those and write the following code necessary to use them. Build settings. These are pretty much stuff you're not going to have to mess around with unless you get really in-depth to coding and you're starting to use databases or you're importing other API into your project. Then you'd start editing and adding stuff to these. So that's a general overview of what you're going to do. And let's say you want to run a simulation of this. You can just hit play, and it's going to build it, and it's going to run a simulator on here. You can also connect your phone or device to your computer and select it from this right here and run it directly on your device. Here is the iOS simulator. You can do any of the devices that were shown right there, pretty much all of them from iPhone to iPad. And there it's all loaded up. It shows our app example right here. It's gonna open it up for us. And it looks like our button didn't carry over. It might be, there it is. Yep, see our button, and it looks like it's clickable too. It doesn't have any actions though because we haven't programmed it. But this is our example app. So I'm going to quit that out. I'm going to pause it so it stops running it. It shows errors, but that's because there's no link to the other view controller I put right here. There's nothing linking this, so it's like an empty error. So let's say you're done and you want to submit this app. You're going to go back to your iTunes Connect, and you're going to hit Add. You're going to hit Add New App. You're going to select your platform, the name of your app. You're going to choose your language, your bundle identifier, which is the com dot first last name dot app name, or no, it's your bundle ID. Your bundle ID is pretty much in your developer. You have to create a certificate, and that will show up right here, and you choose that one. I'm going to choose a wildcard for now. And then I'm just going to, SKU is something that's unique to you only, no one else can see it. It's pretty much just a code to confirm your app. You're going to create, and then pretty much it takes you to a bunch of stuff where you have to fill out and submit some pictures. So it's going to be, you select the category that your app is for, the secondary category, the name of the app that you want, then you're going to go to the pricing and availability. You're going to set it up for how much you want to set it up for, and then you can prepare for submission. You can click on that, and it shows what it looks like so far. You're going to have to put in some description of your app, keywords, and some screenshots, and then you hit submit for review, and that's pretty much everything you need to know for Xcode.